Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a brand new speed build, this time doing a kind of another build request. So this is a Southern Style Farmhouse. It's actually only a miniature one. It's a 2-bed, 1-bathroom build set on a 40 by 40 lot in Brindleton Bay, although as you can see that's not where I started it. I did actually start it in Strangerville but decided to move it because the build ended up being quite big. And it actually comes in at just less than 128,000 simoleons, which I don't think is actually too bad. So this actually wasn't the build I was initially going to upload next because I've been working on a different build request. But when I was having a little look through my build list of ideas, I saw this Southern Farmhouse request, and I've actually had this request several times in the past, and I kind of remembered I'd had this request and thought it'd be really nice to kind of get this one done and, you know, uploaded. So in all honesty, we do not have this architectural style over here in the UK. It's very much in, you know, as far as I'm aware, an American style home. So you'll have to bear with me. Obviously, it's only just kind of loosely sort of designed around the idea of a Southern style house, but you know, I can't actually get it exactly to a T because, like I say, it's not something I'm completely familiar with. But I did have a look at a couple of pictures so that I knew what kind of a build I would need to build, and so hopefully this has done it some justice. So I did decide after doing quite a big farmhouse recently that I wanted this one to be much smaller, and I was actually just going to do this really kind of small sort of veggie patches all the way around the house. But the more and more I kind of did some detail on this house, the more I felt like it would just be better on a sort of bigger style lot. So I ended up moving it over to Brindleton Bay on the coast, where I began to kind of map out its surroundings. Now obviously it's not on a massive lot anyway. 40 by 40 was still fairly on the small side, but I just felt it was a good amount of space to work with to really kind of go with the theme of it being a farm. So I really love making farms. I love the whole idea. I mentioned this in the last video that I'd done, that you know, I'm really hoping at some point the Sims bring out some kind of farming pack where, you know, they kind of really go with the off the grid theme and all this kind of stuff. But we'll have to wait and see because I've got no idea. I couldn't even predict what they would come out with next. They really do just kind of, you know, go off their own sort of agenda. So I quite like that in a way, because I like a game to be unpredictable, because then it's just a surprise. You know, you don't know what you're in. So at the moment I'm literally just mapping out the farm, how I want the layout to be around the house, and it was all very symmetrical, to be honest. It was probably, if anything, quite a similar style to the last farmhouse that I did. Just lots of little individual fields that had their own personality with different things going on in the different sections. But I did want it to be quite orderly in a way, because I feel like Southern style houses are really pretty, very picturesque, and you know, just from the ones that I've seen anyway. And I just wanted to do something that seemed a little bit more put together. So this was a really sweet little farm, and I did actually go ahead and find all of the kind of vegetables in the debug menu and use those for crops instead of using the old plants and bushes that we've been doing for so long. So I did manage to find some lettuces and some tomatoes, peppers, things like that. So I did actually plant them down, although when I did go to move this house and place it somewhere else, they did disappear. So there could be a chance that if you downloaded this, that they might just disappear out of the kind of vegetable patches. But to be honest, they're kind of redundant anyway, and I always think it'd be a nice idea that if you were actually going to play a house that had those kind of vegetable patch like this bit that I'm doing at the moment, that you could actually just individually plant plants there rather than have something decorative there, so you're actually getting use out of the space. But there was activities and skill building items as well laid out. There was a place where you could go fishing I actually found a little fishing thing in the, the fishing sign in the debug menu. So there's a little pond to the back on the left hand side, and it was a little place where you could go fishing. There was an outdoor eating area as well, and obviously we had planters, the beekeeping box. I think I put the flower arranging table as well. So there's quite a bit for you to do on this farm, but there's also a lot of space. So if you downloaded it, you could do whatever you wanted with it really, and put in each section whatever you liked. I did go ahead, it took me ages actually to find these little hay bales, and I put those in as well because, secretly I'm hoping that one day we might just get a farming pack and we might just be able to have farm animals, and it'd be really nice to be able to download this and, just have a farm ready for some little farm animals. So as well as doing the vegetable patches, I also did this little section which is just literally like a miniature vineyard, somewhere where you might grow lots of apples. And I'd really like that actually, to have proper sort of apple trees, not just the ones that we can grow, but actually trees that had fruits on that we could use as like a decorative item, a little bit like the one we got with Island Living, but actually have some really pretty fruits on. I think that'd be really nice. So I hope everybody's well and you've all had a fantastic weekend. Ours has actually been probably quite eventful really. My parents have just got back from Egypt, and my stepmom is she's basically a sun worshipper. She loves sunbathing whenever she's away. But the temperatures in Egypt whilst they were away got to 43 degrees. And my poor dad was just like baking, trying to find some shade. And my stepmom laid out in the sun. Now, she will not listen to any words of advice on health or how dangerous it can be. She is just adamant that that's what she wants to do. So how on earth somebody can lie out from the moment the sun rises to the moment it sets in 43-degree heat is beyond me. It's got to be some kind of extreme sport. I mean, it's really, really dangerous in my eyes. But yeah, so they came back from their holiday and obviously looking very brown, but they're always brown to be fair because they're always away on holiday. But they had a great time. It was really nice to have a good catch up with them. And also it was my son's birthday as well on Friday, and that was fantastic. He turned 8. And he was over the moon with all of his presents, and he had a really nice day. And we went out and we had a really nice meal out. And we also went to, it was kind of like, had like this fun house next door, and they just all went and had a good play. And yeah, he really enjoyed himself, which was good. And we also got a brand new car as well, which was really, really nice. My husband's been wanting a new car for a while, and I think the last car that we got was like 3 years ago. So he'd been looking for a while, and eventually he got a Volkswagen Golf in white, which is really nice. So the good thing is it's actually automatic, and I'm so used to driving a manual car that I said to him, I'm just going to like nip it out, just like give it a test drive. And I have driven an automatic car once, and it was a car that I hired years and years ago. But one of the first things they tell you when you drive an automatic car is not to use your left foot, because you're that used to kind of pushing your left foot straight down on the clutch that, you can end up doing basically what I ended up doing. So I got in the car and I was like, I knew he'd be watching me as well. And I was like, got in the car, and as I started driving down the road, as I'm approaching towards the end of the street, I went to put my foot on the brake, but I put my left foot on it and virtually did an emergency stop. We ended up through the windscreen. I was like, oh my goodness, I was mortified. But I remembered straight away that I wasn't supposed to use that foot, and I was absolutely fine after that. So that was quite amusing. Or it wasn't, but it was at the same time. But I'd say predominantly I've actually been really, really tired this weekend, and I went to bed last night really early at about 8 o'clock. and I thought I'll go to bed and I'll watch Stranger Things, because I keep hearing everybody raving about Stranger Things, and I watched season 1 and I wasn't really blown away. So I thought, oh, well, I'll go to bed and I'll start season 2. But I must have been in bed for about a couple of minutes, and then I just completely flaked out. Um, so this morning it was actually my turn for a lie-in, because we've got kids. We kind of, on the Saturday my husband, he has a lie-in, and then on the Sunday I have a lie-in. It never really works out, to be honest, but we try and give each other a break so we can kind of catch up on some sleep. But unfortunately this morning I woke up to my little dog Lola having a seizure, and she actually woke me up because I heard her hit the floor. Because the first thing in the morning she loves to kind of go out for a wee, and then she runs upstairs and she comes and gets in bed. So I did wake up and she was having a seizure, and obviously shouted my husband, and there's really nothing you can do in that situation other than kind of try and keep them as comfortable as possible. But it's really not nice at all. It's not a nice thing to have to watch or see your dog go through. And we just try and comfort her, make sure she's safe and she doesn't bump into anything. And soon enough she came round. And seizures are something that she's probably had about 4 or 5 of them now over the last couple of years, but they're getting more and more frequent. She's coming up to 7 now, and I think it's just a bit of epilepsy. At first I thought it was to do with the heat, but over the last couple of seizures that's not been the case. But I have got a good friend who had a dog who went through some very severe seizures, so he'd actually given me a lot of advice at the time on them. And so fingers crossed she's okay. She's been fine today, and she's drinking, she's eating, she's playing. So she's absolutely fine. But yeah, it wasn't a nice thing to wake up to. So overall, it was quite an eventful weekend, really. And then it's my birthday tomorrow, which, funnily enough, our old community manager, Kate, it's actually her birthday tomorrow, and we're exactly the same age. So we were both born on exactly the same day. How bizarre is that? It's not often you kind of come across someone who was born on the exact same day as you. So yeah, that was kind of strange. I noticed that on Twitter, so I was like, Kate, we've got the same birthday. But yeah, so it's my birthday tomorrow, but we're not really doing anything for it. I think when you get to my age, I'm going to be 34 tomorrow. You don't really celebrate it as much as you do when you're younger. But yeah, it's just one of those things. But just coming back to the build now, I've talked my way through most of the video. This is actually a small interior, and the really good thing about this build is that it's actually built across one floor, which when I come to play The Sims, I always like playing in like 1-story houses so I can really keep an eye on where the Sims are. I just find the whole thing so much easier. So as I say, this was like a small house. It's only 2 bed, 1 bathroom, but it was kind of nice and sweet. It was light and bright on the inside. Each of the rooms, it was quite a symmetrical layout, this floor plan as well, and so all the rooms are very similar in size. But on the right hand side of the house is where I put kind of all the communal areas, and on the left side of the house is where I put the bathroom and the 2 bedroom. So I do apologise as well. I made a schoolboy error and completely forgot to press record when I came to do the kitchen. So you can see me as we switch to do the interior, just moving on to finishing off the kitchen. But it was very small. It was very straightforward. You really didn't miss much magic. So yeah, but in this particular house, we've got the kitchen, we've got a dining room, a reception room, as well as the 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. So it's just very, very straightforward, but it's a really nice size to play in. So it would be a really nice kind of family home for a smaller family. But I really hope I've done this particular style justice. Like I say, it's quite difficult when you've not seen this particular house before. It is really hard to kind of try and recreate something, but I tried my best, so hopefully that was good enough. But if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, it'd be amazing to have you on board. But have a great week, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.
Close your eyes, get some rest. I'm by your side, lay your head on my chest. I know you've had a really bad day, but I'm right here, it's gonna be okay. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies fade